Welcome once again at the Gil Lewis Jazz Show. We're here, ladies and gentlemen, with Norman Spurgeon, all the way in South Dennisville, New Jersey. And we'd like to say welcome,
Okay.
Norman.
Okay, good.
Welcome.
Thanks for coming.
And the first question I'd like to ask you is, how long have you been living here in South Dennis?
Well, I guess 20 years. 20 years. But
And where are you born and raised?
Well, from the time I was 9 years old, I lived here, and then I left.
Okay.
In other words, after I went to college, and then I left. I lived in Philly. I lived in Boston, and then I came back. I went to Stockton College, and in other words, I went to the University of Pennsylvania. I've had a lot of academic.
Let me ask you: did you major in music when you was in college?
Yeah.
Very good.
I mean, I had science also, but
Okay.
I did major in music. In other words, so I at University of California, Irvine, and Berklee College of Music. In other
beautiful,
words,
man.
I've had a lot of
good schooling and training.
Yeah, it does help.
Very good.
You know, it helps.
Very good.
You know, terrifically.
And I'd like to ask you, where have you been working in the last, say, couple of years? What have you been doing in the last couple of years?
Well, I did.
Besides, before the coronavirus came into the picture, some of the gigs that you had, some of the coffee houses or casino work.
Yeah, I did a whole bunch of concerts for the Ventnor Church.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, and in other words, and you and I, in other words, we play bebop trio quartet music.
Okay.
And then what happened was I met Jerry Rizzo, who is like she's a sort of a
Jerry Rizzo, yeah, I think I've heard of her from Atlantic City.
A classical flute player.
Right.
And I think she had weddings.
And you did a lot of wedding functions.
So I learned like now I just played a tune by myself. In
Yes.
other words, when you do a wedding, you're forced to do that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So that was good. In other words, that was a good learning experience because let's just say in a trio, you're never really forming the music. You know, it's a group and everything is diplomatic.
Okay.
But at any rate, I learned how to do that, and then so that was good because it's similar to arranging and composing.
Well, let me ask you another question. Do you have any solo CDs with you
I made
on
one,
guitar?
I made one, yeah. I mean, it's
okay. Well, do you have that already on the internet?
No, I don't. But I'd like to. I would need some help.
What do you have on the internet now? I mean, nothing at all.
I don't have anything. I'm working on that. I want a website.
Okay.
And then I understand that they have the CD Baby or Bandcamp.
Mm-hmm.
So
those are the ways that you want to market your CD, because we want the people to know out there how you marketing your music.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't have. I really don't have my product ready to market right now.
Okay.
I have a lot of live recordings, and they're not. That's not what people want to. In other words, I want to sell something professionally done.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, let me ask you another question. I knew that you was with Angela Burton.
Yeah.
A while back.
Yeah.
And you did some tours overseas.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, that was
how they were.
Yeah, that was a great experience.
And where some of the places that you've been?
Yeah, we went all over. I mean, like 20 different countries. Iceland.
And can you name some of them for,
Yeah,
for the audience?
They have 6 tours. They have 6. We went on all 6 of them.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, they have the European tour. You go to Germany,
Mm-hmm.
England, Wales.
How did they accept the music, the American culture over there?
Well, the thing is, it's all for the troops.
Okay.
So they're dying to hear it. I mean, they because they're homesick.
Right.
So they are just so happy to see you.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just great. In other words, and then
And how long did you stay over there when you did your tours?
usually like 6 weeks, or one of them was, I think, 3 months. I think one of them was in Korea. We stayed just in Korea. In other words, and then
South Korea or North Korea?
South Korea. And
Oh,
then,
beautiful.
in other words, they just station you, and then they move you around every night. You might get on the bus and ride an hour,
Mm-hmm.
and then you go to a certain army base, and then you
Mhm.
come back. The same night, the next night you do something different, and you do that for like 3 months.
Beautiful, beautiful. Let me ask you about jazz. How long have you been playing jazz?
For years, like say since I guess 76.
76, 1976, you've been working on jazz.
Yeah.
Where do you think jazz is going now? How do you think people are,
Well,
you know,
they're doing
or
a lot
taking
of stuff.
jazz?
They're doing a lot of stuff, but the thing is, the greats. In other words, bebop is no longer here. Unfortunately, that is the great. That's the great.
And that's not, you feel that's not
They
happening right
still,
now?
Well, they still study it, and they still study it.
Mhm.
But it's
But you don't feel it's marketable?
some people do it. No, I do.
Okay.
I think it's more, absolutely, I do. But the thing is, it's difficult. It's difficult to have a group. But absolutely. I mean, there are all kinds of people out, touring, and that's what you want to do. If you're not willing
Did you do any work in Atlantic City at all? In the casinos at all?
I'm trying. Not really. No. No. Not really. No. I just.
But on New York Avenue, didn't you play at a place called Roses in New York Avenue? I think you worked there. I remember me going down and seeing you there.
Yeah.
Right.
I worked there a couple of times. I think there was the son who was the.
And how about this other place in Atlantic City? What they call it? It's on Kentucky Avenue. It's a place down there on Kentucky
Kelsey's
Avenue.
is on.
Kelsey's, right. Have you worked in Kelsey's?
One time, just one time.
And how was that? How was that
Good.
experience?
It was good. And let's just see. There was we worked at Roses one time, and the Pelican.
Yeah, and
Club.
Roses on Kentucky. No, that was on New York Avenue.
Yeah, and I worked at the Pelican Club, with Tony Day.
And the Pelican Club, right.
In Cape May. That was a.
Did you do anything at the flagship in Atlantic City?
Yeah, one time.
Okay.
One time with Tony Day, we did a gig there. So.
Okay, very good.
And I worked with Dan. I worked with Dan Fogel.
Right.
Good handful of times.
I'm gonna try to contact Dan Fogel and see if I
Yeah.
can get him to do an interview with me.
Yeah.
I hope that he can.
Yeah, he's terrific.
Right. And all right. So, how about it for Norman Spurgeon from Dennisville, New Jersey?
So
One of our greatest guitarists, and we're trying to give him some notoriety in the United States. Thank you once again.
Yeah.
And you're going to hear him play another beautiful song on, is this an X5, L5?
Well, very similar.
On his L5
Yeah.
guitar.
Yeah.
Norman Spurgeon, once again.